Welcome back, fellow travelers on the road to freedom. I am your host, Kyle McCullers, and I am so happy that you have tuned in today. We have, I was supposed to do a part two this week about your network equals your net worth, which I got a lot of actually great feedback on, and I really appreciate everybody who has watched it. If you're new to the podcast, please like the video, subscribe. I'm very, very happy with the amount of subscribers that have come on in such a short amount of time, and I'm very excited to continue doing this for you. So it helps me a lot, helps me very greatly if you comment, you like, share, and of course subscribe to the channel so you know when new episodes, new clips come out. I've been a little bit behind, as you can tell, in my voice. I'm getting over a head cold, a sinus cold, and I've just been running around trying to be in the street, doing as much as I possibly can with real estate and what I do in my business. So without further ado, like I was saying before, I was supposed to do a part two to your net worth, or your network equals your net worth. And I am going to dive into that, but I think I'm going to postpone that for next week. A lot of people ask me, how do you come up with your subject matter? What are you going to talk about? Where does it come from? And to be honest with you, they're just thoughts that enter my head throughout the week, or whatever I engage in, whatever happens in the street, whatever conversations I have with people, they just come to me. And, sometimes there's a thought that just, it kind of hits me, and I kind of just sit on it and I think about it. But before I go there, please go to Twitter, go to Facebook, go to Instagram, go to Facebook, and follow me at Kyle Makes Deals. We had a fantastic event at the Tampa Club, because I'm here in Tampa. We threw Road to Freedom Investments. We threw our first real estate summit, and you can see those pictures on my Instagram and on the Facebook at Kyle Makes Deals, and it was fantastic. So we're very excited to do that, and we want to continue doing that, and we want to actually make this probably a quarterly thing where we bring real estate entrepreneurs to the table to give value and to give their stories, and to just share some of the things that have made them successful for everyone in the journey. For a long time, I myself didn't try to do any of that stuff, because I thought, you really needed to be, X amount of years in the game, and you needed to be, you do need to know your subject matter. You do need to be an expert in certain things. Absolutely. If you're going to teach something, you need to be able to do it, or have evidence that you know what you're doing. Like my friend Ian says, you need to have the HUDs. You need to certify with the HUDs. Unless you're doing creative stuff like I do, but even then, you still should have that. So if you're interested in maybe being on the next panel, please message me at Kyle Makes Deals. Like I said, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, wherever the social is, that is my handle. If you want to support, you can donate to the Cash App. It'll be in the description in the videos. And really, I care more about getting this podcast out to as many people as possible, because I do believe what we do here is valuable, and I do believe that it could really help a lot of people that might think like I do, or share similar backgrounds, and don't feel like there's really many outlets or really many people in the world that have gone down the similar paths. I've met quite a few people actually, lately especially, that I myself thought that I was just kind of alone in the way I think. So it's always good to meet other men, other women, other people that have similar mindsets and similar goals. And I've just been very blessed to have these people come around me and come into my life, and to actually support me in everything that I do. So what's the topic for tonight? The thought that I kept coming into my head was, don't apologize for who you are. Don't apologize for who you are. And to be honest with you, I really don't remember what it was or what the catalyst was for that thought. But the more that it kind of was ringing in my mind, the more I was thinking about it. And I think what I did is I caught myself kind of saying sorry a lot. And when I was thinking about it, I was asking myself the question, well, why? I didn't do anything. And I think there's I don't want to say a dumbing down, but I think what happens is we have society, and society tries to tell you who you should be and how you should think and what you should do. Who's society? Right? Society's a bunch of strangers. That's what society is, isn't it? Right? 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. It's a bunch of strangers collectively living in a place. That's a society. So when I started thinking about this, I started thinking about all kinds of things like, why do we care so much? Like, why do we care so much? Right? I mean, I'm guilty of it. I'm sure you're guilty of it too, right? We care so much that we'll even prop up a false image and a facade of who we are, what we do, what we're about. We'll inflate the truth. We'll exaggerate a little lie. Right? We'll overtalk ourselves. We'll create a fantasy of sorts. There's all sorts of things that we're doing or we do because we care so much about what strangers think about us. I thought to myself, because I've always been one, it's funny, my wife asked me a question in a text and I said a one-word answer, and my sister-in-law comes in and she says, I laughed because you're so blunt. And I said, well, you haven't been around me that long, or it's been a long time since you've been around me. She says, no, it's funny because it's so blunt. But it's interesting because I don't think we really talk to each other like that anymore, do we? We don't just say it, right? We dance around it, we walk on eggshells, then we blame that person for making us feel like that, right? Instead of you actually saying what you should say or what you want to say, you don't say it, and then you resent the person because you don't say it. But whose fault is it, really? Right? So when I thought about this, I was thinking more along the lines of, we all want to be integrated within our community and within circles, right? And as we integrate ourselves into these circles, we each bring different values to these circles, and we each bring different productivities, and we each bring different personalities, and we try to figure out a way to mesh until we find a place where we fit. And it doesn't matter what you are, who you are, right? Because who you are and what you are is not relevant. What's relevant is, can you fit in a group? Can you assimilate, right? Isn't that what we are as human beings? We just assimilate. We're mammals who assimilate, right? If we're outside the group, we resent those in the group. And if you're in the group, you're more superior than the ones that are not in the group. Funny how that works, right? And when you're in a group, everyone has a specialty. Everyone is known for something. Everyone has pros and cons and weaknesses and strengths. You're gonna have to bear with me. My nose, my sinuses, so sorry about that. But in relationships of any kind, you are who you are. Now, that doesn't mean If you're an abusive person, that's just who you are. Those are actions stemming from things that have been done to you that you have not addressed, right? Those are actions coming out. But I'm talking about personality traits. I'm talking about who you are inside, right? God made you unique. There is no other person on the earth like you, and there never will be. There could be people that kind of look like you. There could be people that look a lot like you. There could be people that sound like you. There could be people that sound very much like you, that do the same things, that like the same things. But bottom line is, there is no one on the earth before or after you, because you are unique. And who you are as a person matters. I always think about, you ever think about all the random people that you ever meet that you probably have never ever seen or will never see again, but you could have a conversation and you never know. And sometimes it happens to you, right? Sometimes you have a conversation or something happens to you with this random stranger and you have this thought, and then it leads you on to different conclusions, or it changes your trajectory, or it makes you think differently about yourself, right? And you're not trying to do anything. You're just having a random conversation, or you just run into someone. I think about it all the time, that your life is constantly in motion, and you're like a rock traveling in time. And as you meet people, they change your trajectory in your life, right? And you can actually trace back where things went wrong or things got better. And you could think on, if you really sat down and thought about it, you can think on how your thoughts, or how you changed trajectories based on interactions with people. I've had interactions with racists who, after I interacted with them, started changing their mind about their racism. I've had conversations. I remember having a conversation with a girl in high school. I didn't remember the conversation, but after high school, she came up to me and she said, "You know, you told me something back in high school and it completely changed my life." And I was like, "Well, that's cool, but I don't remember." But it gave her some kind of confidence, right? I remember having a conversation with one of my wife's friends. She said something similar. And I know it's not me. It has nothing to do with me. That's all God. My wisdom doesn't come from me. My wisdom was given to me, period. And I like to think deeply on certain things, which is why some people think I'm dry, right? Some people think I'm dry. I think people think I'm dry because I don't think people understand me, or those people specifically don't understand me, because I think those people operate at a certain level, certain frequency, right? And and I can't vibe with them because they're too shallow. And they can't vibe with me because I'm in too deep of water. They would not be able to understand what I'm saying, and I would get easily bored with them because they have nothing to say, right? That's how I look at it, you know. I believe that if you truly are intellectually and philosophically and spiritually inclined to wonder and be curious about the things that are the most difficult to answer, then the easier things don't really matter much, right? So why all this? Why all this philosophical stuff? You are who you are. You were made for a specific purpose. There are some people that are made to do certain things, and there's some people that are made to do other things. If you allow other people to dictate to you that who you are should be something else or should be less than, based on their uncomfortability, or I should say, based on their comfort, because how you operate or how you move makes them uncomfortable, then you're dumbing yourself down to suit someone else's comfort, which means now you're out of alignment with how you were made and why you were made. And if you do that, you will always be out of alignment and you will never be able to really fulfill what you're supposed to be doing here. And you'll wander lost and messed up. There's a difference between serving others and belittling yourself to make people comfortable. Shrinking yourself to make others feel more comfortable about themselves is not a service. It's robbery. Changing who you are or hating who you are because other people make you feel uncomfortable because of how they feel is not a service. It's self-hate. It's self-abuse. Can you hurt someone's feelings? Yes. Can you offend someone? Sure. Should you apologize? Maybe. Well, why maybe? Because in this day and age, it's so easily to offend someone just by believing what you believe. Or walking in what you're supposed to walk in. I truly believe we live in a time where it's wrong to act and be a man, which doesn't make any sense to me. When you're in a group, it is pivotal, monumental, that you be who you're supposed to be and not apologize for it. Because when people come to you because of who you are, and you dumb yourself down to make them feel more comfortable, you can't fulfill the role in which you're supposed to be. You can't fulfill your duty in who you're supposed to be. I've always said that if you truly believe we're all equal, if you truly believe all human beings are equal, then why do you get starstruck? Why are there kings? Why are there queens? Are we really all equal? Is that the truth? On the earth, amongst human beings, no. In the eyes of the Lord, 100%. That's just the truth, right? All of us, at least in America, we work, we strive, we try to excel, we try to grow, we try to acquire. When you think about it, we're the richest people on the earth trying to become richer, right? We're pursuing what was promised to us: life, liberty, and happiness. The American dream. That's the road to freedom. But there is a way that looks right to a man, but leads to his death. Right? There is a way that leads, that seems right to a man, but leads to his death. I think for me, anyone who knows me knows I think a certain way and I act accordingly. And I think for myself, I know that. And I think it scares a lot of people. So, I dumb myself down and I over apologize. And I think what I've come to realize is I have to stop doing that. Because it's taking me out of alignment. It makes even what I'm doing now more difficult. And I think that we should not be living in fear. Fear is the antithesis of success. False evidence appearing real. Right? We are afraid because of what we tell ourselves in our mind. We are afraid because of what we allow others to speak into us. We are afraid because we are not exercising our faith. See, the point of faith is to exercise it, and if you don't exercise it, it's dead. Right? So you could say that you believe in something, but you don't really believe it because you're not exercising faith. You think you control something. You think you control. You need it. The truth is you don't control anything. So when we talk about not apologizing for who you are, don't. Be you. Your group, your family, your friends, your coworkers. Don't try to be somebody else. Don't try to dumb yourself down to make other people feel comfortable. Maybe they are uncomfortable because of something inside that they need to deal with. You ever hear that saying that, I don't remember what it is. It's something about comfort, but it's basically saying get comfortable feeling uncomfortable. And I always thought that was a silly saying because the point is don't get comfortable, because if you get comfortable, you become basically mediocre, right? But if you're comfortable being uncomfortable, really you're comfortable. So it's kind of self-defeating, right? It's one of those sayings that people think are smart, but when you think about it logically, it's stupid. I think that it's not about being comfortable or being uncomfortable. I don't think it has to do with comfort at all. What's wrong with being comfortable? Why is being comfortable so bad? Huh? Shouldn't you be satisfied? Shouldn't you be content? Isn't that what we're trying to do? Dave Chappelle's father told him that he should have a price. And if the price ever became too high, he should get out. Have you sat down and got a price? Have you even thought about what you're doing it all for? Why? When does it end? When does it stop? I think the problem is that we just keep going. Because we liken activity to success. And we think that activity looks like success, so it makes us look good from the outside. So then, therefore, we're successful, or at least we appear to be. But on this road, on this traveling journey, on life's road. Who cares? I want to be authentic, real. And I want everyone to know in the street that what I say is true, and what I do is true. If that means I do 1 deal a year or 100 deals a year. If that means I've acquired 1 house or 10 houses. If that means that I've done X amount of dollars or X amount of dollars in business. If this podcast helps 1 person, doesn't that make it all worth it? If I sit at 100 subscribers, or even 30, I think I got 30 now, right? In 4 weeks, less than 4 weeks. If that helps 1 person think about something different, and changes their trajectory, just like I talked about earlier, isn't it worth it? For so long, I felt completely unworthy to talk because of my toxic self-thought. Because I allowed others to make me feel uncomfortable in my own skin. I don't do that anymore. But what I found out is I apologize too much for being myself. Within the male population, I think roughly 13% are over 6 foot. I wonder what the percentage is of men who have a spirit of a warrior, who are natural born leaders. The David Goggins, the George Washingtons, the Conor McGregors, the Dwayne Rock Johnsons, the Kyle McCullers. Doesn't matter if you're different. It's not what matters. Everybody's different. What matters is, does that difference elevate those around you? Or are you allowing yourself to be unworthy and to be afraid? Never knowing what you had inside of you because you chose to apologize. I had to come to terms with that. I really did. Kind of a deep topic tonight. Man, I'm sorry. My nose is killing me. So, kind of a deep topic tonight. I think for me personally, my goal is to build my relationships to a point to where I could pick up my phone and make one phone call and have people tripping over themselves to help me. That is only done by me tripping over myself to help them over a long period of time. People know this. Give value. Blah, 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 blah. I am a true believer in intent. There's a lot of people that give to receive. Give to give. They give because they expect something back. Almost immediately. If not immediately, very soon. Avoid those people. They will show their colors. And they will fall. Stop apologizing for being who you are. But if who you are is negative and angry and arrogant and evil, you're probably not apologizing anyway. But you should. So hopefully this makes some sense. Maybe it doesn't. But I wanted to share it with you because I thought it was important. I thought maybe there's some of us out there that think or have been struggling with something similar. Maybe not. But if you have, comment, send me a message. Make sure you guys follow me. Kyle Makes Deals, Road to Freedom podcasts, Road to Freedom Investments. That's the company. So thanks for watching. This is the Road to Freedom podcast. Follow me, Kyle Makes Deals, Twitter, Facebook, everywhere. Appreciate you guys. Keep watching. Subscribe. Hit that bell. Make sure you hit the bell and you hit notification, notify, whatever it is. Make sure you do that. Appreciate that. Have a good night.